Hold on, I think I'm going to burp. Oh, so much better. Hi, wait, who am I?
I don't know.
Hi, I'm Reverend Zach.
I'm Francis.
And welcome to This Movie Was a Hot Dog, a podcast where me and a friend of mine, or my brother over here, watch a bad movie, critically, financially, or otherwise, then we review it, break it down, and tell you what we think. And we are back in the new year, 2016. I think it's been exactly a month since we released something. And so we're just I guess this is, what, Season 2 of the show? Something?
Season 2. I mean, I know the fans have been frothing at the mouth for any kind of content they can get of us.
I'm sure any of the 10 people who listen to us forgot after 2 weeks of us not posting anything.
You know, there's robots, too.
Yeah, that's true. There's plenty of spam bots from Vietnam who like our Facebook page and write cryptic messages to me in our inbox. Which is fine. It's so weird, though. So we're back, and for our first week back, we wanted to do something a little different because we had all the Star Wars hype leading up, and obviously it's been, exactly a month now since Star Wars came out?
A little less. 5 days, less, but that's, about a month.
About a month. So, fucking up front, spoiler alert, because we're going to talk about it. We're not going to do a typical thing. We're not going to tear it apart, but everybody's talking about it, and we did all the other movies. So we might as well talk about it and say whether or not we like the fucking thing. I know you have a lot to say about The Force Awakens, so why don't you start? Again, spoilers, if you haven't seen it by now, what are you doing?
Yeah, and why are you even listening to a movie podcast?
Yeah, right. Like, everybody who wanted to see that movie saw it within the first 3 days. If you haven't seen it yet, that's on you.
Well, we have to first off start off by saying that you saw it before I did. And
yes,
it was very
I actually
hard
saw.
For you
I saw it opening day.
It was very hard for you to keep things in. You called me, you're like, I loved it. I want to talk to you about it. And I was like, you can't.
I got a movie theater that's a 30-second drive from my home. Drove home and immediately called you because I had to speak about it. Because obviously, spoiler alert again. Don't want to act like I'm not saying that in case anybody flips the fuck out because people shit their pants over that.
He's
stuff.
giving you 3 minutes of that alert now.
Right, exactly. Han Solo dies. Oh my god!
It had to happen, but
it had to happen for a bunch of reasons.
Well, story wise and for Harrison Ford wise.
Yeah, Harrison Ford has not wanted to be associated with Star Wars since he was in the first one, and he finally got his wish to no longer have to talk about it.
And I heard a rumor that he signed for the next one.
That's not true.
Yeah.
There's no way that's true.
Maybe he'll come back as a Force ghost or
Maybe he signed something so they could use his likeness.
That's true.
So that they can have like a picture of him in the background or like a hologram of him.
Right.
He's so done with these movies, it's not even funny.
But he was okay, I guess we'll get started here. But he is the best actor and character in the movie.
Oh, yeah, he's the best part of this movie. And I didn't even realize this. I literally learned this today. He's top billed in this movie.
Was he?
Yeah, his name is at the top of the credits. He is the first non-Jedi character to be credited first.
I mean, and he was just awesome. He fell right back into the character like it was, the 70s.
And not only that, it's the first time I've seen Harrison Ford give a shit about acting for like the past 15 years.
Yes, he did a very good job. I mean, it was the whole time through the movie, you never were like, well, he's kind of being, doing Han Solo.
No,
he was in it. Like that was Han Solo.
He was great. He was great. And I just imagine like J.J. Abrams, whoever sat Harrison Ford down there like, okay, we will pay you $100 billion to be in this movie. And we will finally grant your wish, your 35-year-long wish of killing your character. But you better fucking bring it.
And he did. He brought it.
And he did.
Yeah. Just some of the one-liners between him and Chewie were awesome, just like the old films, which I loved. He was in it. I mean, let me see. Let's go over all the old characters that were in it. We got Han and Chewie, same as ever. We talked about, Leia. Leia was in it. Carrie Fisher.
Well, yeah, Carrie Fisher. And I know you and me talked about it, where it was like, how are they going to weasel her in here because she was a fat, crazy old lady for the past 20 years, and she's been like really bonkers. She was the best part of the press junket because every time she spoke, it was like, Jesus Christ, this woman's out of her mind.
But she served her purpose in the film, though.
Yeah, she served her purpose. She lost a bunch of weight, so she just looks like a nice old lady now. She didn't act crazy. She showed up, she said her lines, and that was it. There wasn't too much of her. There wasn't not enough of her. She was in it for exactly the amount of time she needed to be in it.
We got to see, well, I don't know if we go to the end, right? We get to see Luke for like 2 seconds.
Right. Everybody, like, again, spoiler alert and all that shit, everybody who's seen it knows that Luke literally just stands on a rock and then looks into camera, and then he took off his robe and collected his $10 million.
And he's got his robot hand, you know.
He's got his robot hand. Oh, one thing I did like about the movie, I really loved, when Han and Leia meet, and they go, oh, man, it didn't, it never worked out, and we had a kid. And I really liked that they didn't, like, labor over that.
No.
And also it was quick. Like, right, but also I was like, of course it wouldn't work out. Why would it have worked out between those two characters? He's a pirate smuggler and she's a queen, and after the Empire's destroyed, what is their relationship based on?
We got nothing to do anymore.
Right, of course they would get a space divorce.
Or does the space pope sign off on that?
I don't. Well, if they're space.
Oh, then you can't be signed off.
They must be like space Lutherans.
I digress here.
Right, they're space Lutherans or whatever. Because the Reformed Jedi, so they can get divorced. And they're allowed to eat pork.
I liked the. We don't want to go through all the plot of the film because we'll be here forever, but. I liked all the new characters a lot, which I was afraid I wouldn't.
I was too. Okay, well, let's just talk about this up front. So, Captain Phasma.
Phasma?
Phasma. That blonde chick from Game of Thrones, I don't remember her name. She's a great actress, but she's like 7'9".
Yeah, like, she's very large.
And she is, every press video you watch, she is there sitting next to the guy who played Poe and Han Solo, and she's laughing it up with the cast. She's not even in this fucking movie.
5 minutes, maybe?
And you don't even see her face. She could have just been in a recording booth where she said her 4 lines, and then some yahoo stood in that silver stormtrooper outfit. Fuck everybody for making those toys and pushing that character down my throat.
Well, they did that with Darth Maul.
Well, yeah, it's true. But we're trying to hope that these are going to be better.
Well,
and people are... Hopefully, allegedly anyway, she's supposed to be a bigger part in the other movies.
That's what I was going to say.
Because if not, she's the Boba Fett of the new
exactly.
Where he goes, Boba Fett, and then his rocket pack hits the side of the boat, and a butthole in the desert swallows him whole.
Let's see. Let's go through the other new characters. Let's go with the light side first. I like the new character Poe.
Yeah, he's clearly going to become the new Han Solo of the franchise. They just had to not have him be in this one while Han Solo was still alive.
I liked seeing his abilities as a pilot, especially in the one battle over I don't know all the planet names yet.
And that was all you needed to know to give that character. It's like, okay, he's in his X-wing and he destroys 5 TIE fighters in 30 seconds. Boom. That character is now established as a good pilot. Got it.
Yeah, and you were like, that was awesome, too. The way they presented it was amazing.
Finn?
Yep, didn't like him at first.
I didn't like... I liked him at first, because I really did like how immediately they were like, stormtroopers aren't clones anymore, these are normal people, blah, blah, blah. By the way, the prequels never happened.
By the way, don't even worry about that.
You don't even worry about that. I liked that he was the only character out of everybody in this movie that when he would say certain lines of dialogue, I was like, ooh, that was a little hammy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did like his character. He's definitely one of those super good guys like, I love to help everyone.
He's the lightsaber fight he has with the stormtrooper, and anytime he turns on that lightsaber, it's great. Yeah,
and he's a likable character though. It just at first I was like it's just over the. I thought his character was a little over the top, but
yeah, he would, like I said, he was the only one where he would say things. He'd be like, "Wow, you're a really good pilot of a spaceship." And I'd be like, "Ooh, geez, what the fuck was that?"
And then, but then, yeah, he definitely grows as a character. Oh, look,
yeah, and
plot development and character development all in one.
In a Star Wars movie.
What?
What is this, What is this, a science fiction film?
Rey is going to be the new Jedi, it seems.
Well, not it seems.
Well, we know now. I keep thinking, like, don't spoil, but we're doing this spoilers, so.
And she's great in it. I love that character.
Yeah, great character. Yeah, there was a couple inconsistencies, especially with, like, how is she beating Kylo Ren in a lightsaber fight when she's never used?
Because Chewie shot him in his gut, and he wasn't necessarily on the top of his game.
There you go. But he did pound his stomach, so.
Right, he hit his open blaster wound with his hand.
That made him better.
I'm sure that would go to help him losing.
Yeah. Other new.
Also, I know we talked about this personally, but so Han Solo. Spoiler alert: Kylo Ren is Han Solo's kid, and he goes to confront him, and he's like, "Stop being a bad guy," and he's like, "No, Dad, I hate you," and he kills him, and then Chewie like loses it. I was waiting for Chewie to go out in a ball of flame.
Oh, yeah.
I was waiting for him to just pick up two blasters and start running around and just, like, get cornered and blow himself up, which, honestly, I think would have been a better way to go. Is like, if you're going to kill Han, kill everybody who's associated with Han.
No, I think, again, they're going to have him be, Rey's co-pilot.
Right, except it probably won't be Peter Mayhew because that guy can barely get out of bed in the morning. 6 nurses helping him up.
Oh man, that's brutal.
That guy, he's so unhealthy.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's like a giant, and that comes with the territory of being a large man. It's just like having ailments. But I mean, I'm surprised he didn't die in the making of this movie.
One of the not actual people in the film, the droid BB-8, I was worried was going to be.
The new Jar Jar Binks.
Right, and then he had his first couple of funny moments. I was like, oh, well, it's actually funny.
And he has those couple of funny moments, and then he's not in the movie for like 40 minutes.
Which is fine.
Which is not only fine, it's what you want.
Right, yeah.
Sure, give me a droid, have him do a goofy thing, have him be helpful at one point, and then let him not be in the movie anymore.
Yeah, and he's definitely all the funny moments are indeed funny, especially if you've seen the movie where he gives the thumbs up with his butane lighter.
That was great.
Yeah, it's really good.
I love the guy General Hux who gives the big Hitler speech.
Yeah, well, and I was actually let's move over to the dark side, new characters. This guy, this General Hux, you always view like the generals and the admirals of the Empire or bad guys as like, well, they're expendable. They'll just, blow up in the next thing, and it's somebody for the big bad guy to choke out when things go wrong. This guy actually has a lot of power.
And I like his dynamic with Kylo Ren because, like, in the original, Darth Vader and Tarkin are like equals more or less.
Yeah, it's true.
Even Tarkin being a little above him.
Right, yes, you're right. Yeah, he is.
In this one, Kylo Ren's like, well, I'm going to handle this because I have a lightsaber. And General Hux is like, fuck you, dude. I control the military. Why don't you go play with your little toys in the other room? And they hate each other, and I love that.
It's true. Yeah, and Hux, he's definitely very, very evil.
And like you said, it's a guy that they're going to choke out and kill. He gets away at the end of the movie. So he will continue to be a bad guy.
Yeah, and like I said, you hate him. He's not like just some throwaway general or something. You legitimately don't like that character because he's how nasty he is. And he's interesting. So the other new character, the big bad guy now is Supreme Leader Snoke, who at first we don't know whether he's 5,000 feet tall or if he's like a 2-foot midget. Because
like I said to you, when we show Supreme Chancellor Allied of the Armed Forces Snoke, he's like 35 feet tall in a giant chair, and I was in the theater and I was like, oh no.
How is he going to have the final fight with this?
Why did they make him so big? And then he turns into a hologram, and I was like, oh, thank God.
But he has a different dynamic of a relationship with Hux than he does with Kylo Ren.
Yes.
Which is kind of neat. Because he can talk with Hux about like the military planning and all and the weapons and stuff, and then he's got his own other agenda with Kylo Ren. In the old movies, the Emperor he led the Empire and everything, but all we ever see is him with really Darth Vader.
since we brought up Snoke, and to stop you before you do it, if you want to talk about a fan theory, I'm going to allow us one fan theory each. That's it.
I've got mine, and you know it already.
Okay, I don't, because you've talked to me about so many of them, so I'm not sure which one you're going to talk about. Because that is the one thing I will say. Star Wars hype is big and everything, and at this point, it's over. I get it. We all like it. We don't have to keep talking about it. We can all just go hey, I like Star Wars. You did too. Every day I wake up, there are fan theories in the news.
Mm-hmm.
The news is reporting on things that people thought of in their pajamas last night. Some of the ones that kill me are oh my God, do you think Finn is really Lando Calrissian's son? First of all, that's so lazy. It's he must be related to the only other black guy.
Oh my gosh. And it just doesn't, yes, and it would be so lazy to the point where you'd be no, that's a real big disappointment.
Right, exactly. And I will let you have your fan theory after this, but every character is ooh, who's that? Oh, do you think Poe Dameron's really related to Blobdy Blue? Do you think this is Lobot's kid?
And you're who?
Anybody who's a Star Wars fan knows who Lobot is, but it's my take on this is, can't these characters just be new people?
And that's what I liked about the movie is.
Yeah, can't this just be a new guy? It's not the prequels where a young Boba Fett has to walk in and see a young Han Solo, and they get in a fight in the playground, and they go hey, you Boba Fett and Han Solo, stop fighting.
All right, time for the theory.
So give me your fan theory.
For this one, we can have more fan theories on other things, right?
No, you get one Star Wars fan theory. That's all you get.
I'll waste it here, and then I'll probably mess up anyways later. There's a lot of talk about the interwebs that Snoke is actually Darth Plagueis, and I think that's actually going to be what's going to happen.
Is that it?
That's my theory, yes. I believe that the Emperor Palpatine's teacher, which was Darth Plagueis, has found a way to cheat death and is now very much alive.
Okay. So my fan theory, it's not a more popular one, I talked to you about it, that in the original trilogy, there was actually a slightly bigger Luke Skywalker.
Oh my God. Here we go. Yeah, we'll post a link to that. But
I already did post. I already put the link on the Facebook page. I'll post it again later. But as I was scrolling through all of these crazy fan theories, I stumbled across this one where I don't even know who thought of this or why, but I don't even know if it's real. I pray to God it's not real. But there are people that think in the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, that there are actually two Luke Skywalkers, and one is 5'9", and the other one is 6'1" and a quarter.
Oh my God! Why are we even talking about this?
And there's a whole thing where it's Obi-Wan Kenobi used him to make him be a Force clone, and it's actual Yoda or something, blah, blah, blah. Obviously it's bullshit, but I think it's hilarious. If you are bored and have nothing to do, I'll put the wiki on the Facebook page. Check that shit out. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Can we get back to the movie?
Yeah, sure. So here's another thing. This movie, obviously, it's the biggest movie of all time.
We forgot one character we really got to talk about.
Okay, well, I'll get into how well it's doing later.
Kylo Ren.
We talked about him.
Not really. Not enough.
Okay, what else do you have to say about him?
Well, a lot of people are complaining that he's whiny just like Anakin was in the prequels.
Which is not the case.
No, they clearly say he's, young and and there's a reason for him to be angry and struggling with his mind.
And I would say more that, in the original one, Anakin was whiny. When he's I want to be a Jedi Master, and they go, we're not going to make you a Jedi Master, and he goes, but it's not fair. That's literally a line he
right.
has.
When that's too bad, it's just too bad.
This guy is unhinged.
Yes.
He killed his father. He killed his father. That alone. He is just unhinged. He's mentally unstable. He's really being pulled in both directions. And you know what I love? They set up his struggle between the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force in 30 seconds. It took them 3 prequel movies, and I still didn't buy it. for Darth Vader.
Yeah, no, to become Darth Vader. And by the way, and also Kylo Ren has or Ben Solo, that's his original persona, is that he worships his grandfather. Like
Darth Vader helmet. Well, you're the only one who understands me.
How did he? First off, did they have like a scavenging mission on Endor?
Yeah, right. How did he find it? How did he know it was on Endor?
I mean, someone must have told him. Like,
well, probably Luke did when he was in Jedi school before he burnt down Jedi school
and killed all the other students.
Before he pulled a Jedi school Columbine and killed all the students.
Yeah, which is pretty much what he did from what they.
Yeah, terrible joke, but that's what happened.
Yeah, and his character. The only thing I didn't like with the character was he took his helmet off during the film.
I loved when he did that because that really, for me, cemented like
human. Still human a bit.
Well, not just still human. It's like, oh, this guy isn't some mystic warrior who will, oh my God, shrouded in mystery. He's not deformed like Darth Vader was, and that is to his character. He is literally an obsessed fanboy who will do anything to become what he is a fan of. And he uses that mask purely for intimidation. And I think that speaks volumes to him. And people are like, yeah, he's so blah, 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 blah. He has a fucking character. And they set up a way for him to have an arc. Like, that's great.
Yeah, you know what he's going to be like in the next two films? Really evil as shit. Because I mean, at the end, Snoke's like, can't bring him to me so I can complete his trading. So, obviously, he's going to be a lot different in the next two films.
And I hope that there is a thing where they try to bring him to the light side, and it doesn't work, and they have to just cut his head off.
And I think that's how it's going to end in the third film, but I think he's going to kill Snoke, maybe?
Well, okay, now this is another fan theory. I said you could only have one.
That's already out there. Don't cut it. Please.
So, you got any other characters you want to hit?
Did I miss any? Who's the little lady that Han goes to see?
Maz Kanata. I wouldn't be surprised if she was just in this movie and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I liked her character.
Yeah, I liked her character. She served her purpose. I don't think she needs to be in anything else. She was a cool character, but I think we're done with her.
Yep, I think that's everyone. Well, C-3PO and R2 made an appearance just for,
Yeah, C-3PO literally came in the movie enough to be like, God, I hate this character.
Oh, hello, it's Han Solo. I have a red eye.
He literally said what everybody else was thinking. Like, am I in the way? Have I stopped the movie dead just so I could be in it? Yes, please leave.
And then, of course, he does the classic, like, oh, terribly sorry. Come on now, BB-8.
So, this movie, like I said, is the biggest movie in the world right now, and ever. It's breaking so many records, I'm not even going to mention any of them. I'll mention a couple. It is the highest grossing movie domestically ever. It has made more movies. It has made more money in the United States than any other movie ever. $800 million. It's on its way to make $1 billion in the States.
That's not even talking global.
Global, it made $1.3 billion,
Ugh.
which makes it the second highest grossing movie ever. So Titanic is out of the way, and it's not looking like it's going to beat Avatar, which is really unfortunate.
Because that's a bad movie.
Because, yes, this movie doing so much better has only proven what I have said for a very long time. Avatar sucks. And
maybe more on that later.
And yeah, maybe. Oh, that'd be. I don't know if I can sit through that. That's a long ass movie. But there's this great article on the AV Club. You should go check it out. Maybe I'll post it. It's about how Avatar has no cultural staying power or relevance, and it's just talking about how is the biggest movie, the highest grossing movie of all time. Nobody cares about it anymore.
No, not at all. But, 20 years from now, this movie will be,
Oh, this movie will be, and Avatar won't. And unfortunately, it's not going to beat Avatar because it really doesn't have, it's not going to do, it's doing pretty good in China, but it's not going to do Avatar money, and it's not doing well in certain regions of the world because not everybody knows what Star Wars is.
That's true. It is, yeah. Even though a lot of people do, there are still a lot of people that go, I don't really care about Star Wars.
So, since it's 2016,
I'm
and
excited.
this is a new season, I decided to add. We're going to do rating categories. Because when we first started doing this, we were like, oh, we'll say this movie is a hot dog, but we never decided what that actually means, and I haven't decided that yet. And then we're like, oh, we'll use like a 1 to 10 rating system, or be like, oh, in a wacky rating system, it's stupid. It was all stupid and gimmicky, and it never worked, and it never stuck. So I broke it down a movie into 3 categories. Like, here are the 2 extremes. You either hated it or you didn't hate it.
Right.
So, and the middle category is it's a good party movie.
Right.
It's a good movie because we always say, because you call me out on it.
We do. Yeah, I do every time.
This movie is good if you got some friends over and you got some beer and a pizza and you can just throw it up and you can either watch it and make fun of it or you can talk over it and watch it sometimes. Doesn't matter. So, for Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Episode 7, you hated it, good party movie, or you didn't hate it?
I did not hate it.
I didn't hate it either. I really didn't hate this movie.
It's so good.
Great. So we'll use that. That'll be our movie qualifiers from now on. So, what else I thought was funny is, as much as this is the biggest movie in the world right now, and the second biggest movie of all time, the biggest one in America, there are still a lot of people who hate this movie.
I don't understand.
I don't either, but a lot of people have a lot of problems with it. So I went on to IMDb, and I was looking at the reviews, and I was like, oh, let me look up some 1-star reviews, not thinking there would be as many as there were. I got through 30 pages of 1-star reviews. There are a lot of people who have a lot to say about this movie. But I did manage to find a couple of ones that I wanted to share, because I know they were pretty good.
Go for it.
So this one is just entitled, J.J. Abrams Shall Never Be Forgiven.
Okay.
Okay. This is written by Valandahau. Worst Star Wars movie. After so many years, the engineers still failed learning the importance of a backup system. I don't know what that means.
That makes no sense.
Both sides are using rusty fighters built several decades ago. The Force has become so cheap, and Rey could beat Ben in no seconds. If so, why is she looking for Luke? The old Jedis were so dumb they needed more than 10 years of training to play a mind trick or handle a lightsaber. You killed Han Solo? That's
the review?
That's the review.
Wow.
I don't even know what that first line means. Okay, next one. Feminist garbage.
Oh, good.
Han Solo always had problems running a ship, which was a good laugh in the old Star Wars, but she comes along, doesn't say her name, but she comes along and tells him what to do and fixes it even though spelled T-H-O, even though she'd never been in a ship in her whole life. That's not true. She says she's a pilot and she flies all the time.
Yes.
She totally emasculates the only alpha male character and one of the most popular Star Wars characters of all time. In the East, you will never tell an old person or someone highly respected what to do. It's the most disrespectful thing you could ever do. So, it's just like, in Chinese culture, you wouldn't tell Han Solo what to do? The biggest movie in the world right now with a strong feminist narrative. It's a huge win for the feminazis because they know when things like this have power to influence the mind of millions. Young men will be brainwashed into thinking they're worthless scum, and girls will come out thinking they can do whatever they want because they're superior beings. And this, my friends, is how society gets ruined.
I just realized it's just a Star Wars movie. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars movie. And also it's like, this movie is going to make men feel worse. I love it. It's like, it makes women think that they can do things.
How terrible.
How dare you women think that you can go do stuff? Okay, so the next one is entitled, I Felt Nothing. See if you can pick this one. See if you can figure out why I picked this one after the last one. As a fierce woman, I went to this movie excited at seeing a new female character's fiery Amazonian strength strutting around the Star Wars screen.
Okay.
Isn't it great already?
I'm definitely loving it.
I was so disappointed when I saw straight through Daisy Ridley's posh accent and forced enthusiasm. First of all, that's how that woman speaks. Like,
forced accent. That's how she talks.
Posh accent and forced enthusiasm. First of all, that's how she talks. That's her voice.
Plus, and people are dying around her. What do you want? What do you want her to do? Just be like, oh, I'm sad or something.
And forced enthusiasm. You mean the way she tried to have pretend emotions, like an actor does? Like, that's how she talks, and she's acting in a movie. What did you want? I began comparing her to the girl with the dragon tattoo and wishing and hoping for some passion. I felt more excitement when Harry Potter discovered his wizard powers. It was quickly dismissed and went back to the continual rushing around with big flashes, ending in a corny joke. Ugh. The characters lacked mystery and imagination. When she met Princess Leia, her fellow female warrior, which she never was, the hug was like something from Nanny McPhee. I kept on kidding myself. I was thinking Natalie Portman would walk in with her commanding, powerful, and mystical presence. Those are three things I have never heard used to describe Padme, ever. If you go back and watch the prequel trilogy, like I did, that woman stands in a room and cries.
Oh, Anakin,
why are you a bad guy now? Like, I just think it's so funny. Like, the feminist is upset because this woman has an accent that she doesn't approve of. And a guy likes it because it's too feminist. It's like, Jesus. Which one is which?
I can't believe these reviews. Is that all of them?
I got a couple more. This one's entitled, What's Next? Let's Kill Indiana Jones.
Okay.
George Lucas would never have done that. He would have never killed Han Solo in this way. The original trilogy, Lucas developed the story in a way to reassure the viewers that none of his main characters would face horrible fate similar to Han's death in episode 7? What? George Lucas did that?
Well, no, first off,
that's not true.
Well, yeah, because let's look at Obi-Wan.
Also, they almost killed his character out in Empire. If he didn't come back, if Harrison Ford didn't sign a contract, they were going to kill him off.
Yeah, it was frozen in carbonite.
I have lived with Star Wars all my life, and making one of my childhood invincible heroes die is unacceptable to me. Killing Han Solo this way proves that none of the creators of the new Star Wars is a real fan. If you're a fan, you don't kill any of your childhood heroes this way. You wouldn't be able to. I don't...
So, I guess he's not watched Game of Thrones recently.
Or, like... Yeah, he seems to have this misinformed... He seems to be misinformed that literally these characters are immortal.
Yeah, I mean... That's...
Like, never once is he like, oh, thank God I can't die ever.
Yeah, and then if the heroes can't die, then what's the point of caring?
So, here's one. I'm only going to read the first couple lines, because I love the first couple lines. I don't understand. The whole story is like a deja vu, identical to the original. Why buy the rights to a photocopy of a movie? A really bad photocopy. I tried watching it 3 times, and I fell asleep every time. Why did you keep going back?
I don't know how you could fall asleep during this movie.
Not only that, like, you fall asleep the first time because you thought it was so boring, and you're like, I'll go back. And then go back again!
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, it's these insane fanboys.
So this is the last one, and I love this one. This is called J.J. Abrams Isn't Exactly Mensa Material. I don't ever think he was claiming that he was, so I don't necessarily know why that's such a dig. J.J. Abrams isn't exactly Mensa Material, and his films painfully show this. His Star Trek crew, like seniors just out of high school. In the original series, they may have been the same age chronologically, but they seemed like adults, not teenagers wrangling a starship. Half of them seem like they could be in pimple cream ads. It seems like I just add more lines for the sake of it, even as I said what I needed to say. Star Wars is like trying to get a Van Gogh to paint Starry Night over and over again each year. It was great the first time, and after that, meh. Anyway, I outgrew Star Wars by the time I was 22, and now it's nothing more than a product with a UPC code attached to it to make money. Money Lucas and Spielberg came along and ruined a budding new American cinema with a rehash of what has already come before. So this guy's review of Star Wars is he doesn't like the Star Trek movies.
Right.
And
what? How
that's
people...
That's the first paragraph of his Star Wars review is, I don't like the Star Trek movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like George Lucas or Steven Spielberg, both of whom are not associated with this film at all.
So he did his research, it seems.
So great review. Okay, so next thing we got on this New Year's 2016 episode is we actually got a fan question from somebody who's a fan of this podcast. We have one.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
So we have one hater, one fan.
Well, we have some people who appear to actually like us, and somebody's listening regularly. But this guy was actually very nice. He wrote us a very nice message on Facebook in my inbox, and he's like, "Hey, I really like what you guys do, blah blah blah." And he has a pretty standard question. He goes, his name is Don, by the way. Don asks, "How long, give or take, does it usually take you guys to watch a movie, take notes, and then talk about it and upload it? I know it seems like there's a few weeks in between each one." And there is. The reason for that is we probably, by the time you hear an episode, we recorded it anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks prior to that. And the reason is in case there is a technical problem or one of us can't make it to do the recording, we always have episodes banked so we can release them weekly. So we're recording this one, and then we're going to record another one, and then we'll have 3 banked, and so we'll start putting them up again once we get back into that rhythm. As for me, I'll let you answer after me. I literally watch the movie the day we record, and I write notes. I just, watch it, and while I'm watching it on my computer, I'm just click-clacking away and writing my stuff. Then I get home, we talk about it, and I usually edit it that weekend and then upload it whenever it's in its rotation.
Yeah, I watch them the morning of, when the day we're going to actually record, because if you watch it a week before, even if you take notes, you're still going to forget stuff. And I'm actually a pretty forgetful person. It's probably evident in some of the prior podcasts. So I do take notes now. Before I didn't, and I've been called out on it. But
well, yeah, you got to take note because sometimes you'd be like, "Oh, I don't remember that."
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true. But if it's actually crazy that you'd think if you watched the movie that morning that you would remember everything in order, and you just don't. So I watch it on sometimes I watch it on the computer, or I'll watch it on if I have the TV, I'll have the laptop on. If not, I'll have I have a second monitor. But yeah, most of our stuff is done. We watch it that day, and then we do the recording, and it's all pretty much one take for the most part.
Yeah, we'll cut out some garbage if we realize we're just fucking rambling. But other than that, we keep everything in. I will say that there are some times that if I'm watching the movie and I think of a specific thing I want to say, I will write out a scripted line. If I think of something that I think I could consider a joke or is mildly funny, I will just write it out because I'll forget to say the same thing later.
I do the same. So, but we thank you. Thanks, is it Don?
Yeah, Don.
Thanks, Don. We do appreciate your writing and everything.
Yeah, we do. He's messaged us once before. I really do appreciate it. And we would love to make this a regular segment of answering your guys' questions. Or if you guys have strong feelings about why you also hate Star Wars or hate us in general, we will gladly take anything in our inbox as mail and read it as mail that you guys want us to read on the podcast and ask us any questions, and we will gladly do that. So if you want to, hit us up. If not, that'll be more or less what's been happening for a year now, so nothing will change.
But yeah, thanks again, though.
So for our last thing we want to do, it's 2016. A bunch of new movies are coming out. There's going to be a bunch of movies this year. One thing that I like, a tool that I always use, not just for this podcast, but just for being a fan of movies and cinema in general, if you go into Wikipedia and you type in a year and then the words in film, it will bring you to a page which lists every movie in chronological order of the date it comes out, broken up by month, who's in it, the production company, what it's called, and all this. And if it's in a prior year, like if you go to 2015, it'll show you the movies that bombed and the movies that made the most money. But it's a really good tool to see what's coming out, when it's coming out, movies you haven't heard of, stuff like that. So we've looked at that list, and we've both compiled 3 movies that we are actually excited are going to come out this year.
I'm still on the fence about a couple.
Well, they're not. It's literally every movie, like major movies. So there's going to be a lot of shit on there.
Yeah.
So why don't you take us through the ones you're excited for?
And for many of you who know, I'm kind of a geek at heart. I always have a lot to input on stuff like that. So hopefully this is going to be kind of geek heavy for the movies I want to see. The first one is Batman vs Superman. That looks really good. Excited to see what they're going. I guess it's basically a start of a whole new canon storyline for the DC universe in movies. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. Also, and I'm going to go with another comic book movie I want to see, Civil War. Although we've talked about it before, is the fact that the whole Marvel thing is getting a little worn out, but I'm still excited to see that. It's one of my favorite comic book stories ever written, and I'm hoping that the movie will double down on that and make it even better.
Yeah, we were talking the other day about Civil War. I said how you saw the trailer and you were excited for it, and I saw it too, and I realized like I'm kind of done. Like I'm kind of slowly getting burnt out on Marvel, where it's like I saw the trailer, it's like, oh, there's Tony Stark, he's Iron Man. Like I've seen him in not 9 other movies. There's Captain America, he's cool. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. They're fighting now. All right. Got it.
It's like in 2025 when we see Thanos finally, it'll wrap this up.
Right. They better hope nobody dies between now and 10 years when they finish this.
Yeah, this has really been a long project. There was one movie I thought I was gonna wanted to see, and then I saw who was in it. The USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is the main character.
Oh, that's not going to be very good, is it?
And that was immediately, it was like, that's off the list. Cause,
that'll be one of 2 things: unwatchable, or hilariously bad. That might end up on the show.
Yeah, it might end up on the show. I'm actually going to go with I saw the preview for this in Star Wars at the Star Wars movie, and I know it's a kids movie, but was it Zootopia?
Oh God.
What? Come on! It looks pretty good. It looks pretty funny.
I can't watch cartoons. I derive no entertainment from animation, and I know I'm in the minority there because Minions and Toy Story 3 and all that. But I sit down and watch a cartoon, and I'd rather be doing literally anything else.
Okay, well then I'll on a side note on this. Of course, we're not sure if it's actually going to come out next year, but I think they're planning on it. Rogue One.
Yes, because so you good?
Yes, the Rogue One, which is the next Star Wars movie, the shoot-off story.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I'm excited for the sequel to one of the biggest science fiction space movies ever, Independence Day 2 Resurgence.
God, that's going to be great. That's going to be awesome.
I will see anything with Jeff Goldblum in it.
Yes.
I love him.
That's why because I knew you were going to pick that.
And it's got a Hemsworth. It's the younger of the 3, and it's got Bill Pullman. He's in it, and Judd Hirsch is still alive. I found out because he's in the movie. It looks. I remember Independence Day fondly, as we all do, because 1996 was a great year, wasn't it?
Yes, of course.
But like, you go and watch that movie again, you're like, this is just the littlest bit dog shit.
It didn't age well, that's for sure.
No, it's just the littlest bit of a dog shit movie, but what are you going to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did pick Rogue One. You stole that from me because it's got Mads Mikkelsen in it. He's great. Anybody who wants to if you haven't seen this show, go watch the Hannibal TV show with Mads Mikkelsen as Hannibal. He's amazing in it. It's a great show. I will see Rogue One just because he's in it.
Did it say who he's going to be playing?
He's the guy who designed the Death Star and then sort of is the like Oppenheimer who made the atomic bomb. He's like, oh shit, what have I done?
I see.
And then he helps the Rogue Squadron steal the plans. At least that's what I know now. That move, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
for my third movie, while I was on the 2016 in film list, scrolling down, seeing movies that seemed familiar or ones that I was excited about, I saw a title for a movie called Sausage Party.
Oh, dear.
And I went, what the fuck could that be? So I clicked on it, and I'll just read you the synopsis. It's very short. One sausage's quest to discover the truth about his existence. After falling out of a shopping cart, our hero Sausage and his friends embark on a perilous journey through the supermarket to get back to the aisles before the 4th of July sale.
What?
Okay, so you hear that, right? And you go like, this is a stupid comedy, right? Listen to the cast. The main character, the sausage, whose name is Frank, get it, is Seth Rogen. Then just listen to these other people in this movie. Jonah Hill, James Franco, Kristen Wiig, Edward Norton, Michael Cera, Nick Kroll, Salma Hayek, Bill Hader, Craig Robinson, Paul Rudd, Danny McBride. Who at a movie studio has photos of all of these people killing a dog? How did they get blackmailed into being in a movie called Sausage Party about a sausage?
Is this supposed to be animated?
Yes. Okay. This is a 3D computer animated, adult animated comedy film.
I can't wait for this.
I don't know how to feel. Oh, this is a little racist. Selma Hayek is Teresa Taco, and then it says in quotes a taco.
Oh dear.
Nick Kroll is the villain, and he is a douche.
Wow. This is great. I gotta see this movie now.
Kristen Wiig is a hot dog bun. I'm already writing those terrible jokes in my head that I'm sure are in this movie.
Oh boy, this is gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be a movie.
No, it's gonna be good. It might end up on the show.
Oh God, I don't know. We'll see. But yes, so this brings us to the end of our New Year's 2016 episode. Is there anything you would like to say before we wrap up, my brother?
Well, I'm just glad to have a new year going, another season, if you will, of This Movie Was a Hot Dog. Thanks to all the fans, maybe just one, we're not sure. Thanks for all the comments on Facebook. We see every week that we post something up there. We see you guys making comments, and either you hated it or liked it, and we just like seeing that stuff. And here's to another year, and hoping that it goes well.
I will say ditto to all of that. And if you want to send us any emails, you can send us questions, comments, concerns, or hate mail. We love hate mail at moviehotdog@gmail.com. You can also message us on Facebook. I'm sure that's easier, and we get those when you guys send them, and we read them right away and respond if we can. And if you guys do have questions, like I said, we'll read them on the show if you want us to. Just send us a question, and we'll answer them. You can follow us on Facebook if you don't know about that. That's at This Movie Was a Hot Dog. I have a Twitter that I do nothing on. It's probably been dead for months. That's at Movie Hot Dog. And that's all I have to say. So why don't you sign us off, my bro?
Yeah, this is Frank just saying this movie was a sausage fest.